And welcome to today's video. We will be working on this super cute little MCM style dresser that needs a lot of love. Look at it. It's some kind of mystery finish and it's scraping off. You can see what was underneath it. And these little legs are a little bit inadequate for it. I have big plans for this little dresser. So let's get started. The first thing I wanted to do was take a look at the dresser and see what I was dealing with. I knew I wanted to change the leg, so I wanted to see what was happening underneath. And as you can see, it's really a spider's world. Furniture finishing is definitely not for the faint of heart. And I had a set of legs that I wanted to use, but after comparing them here, I realized that the set that I had was quite large and it may not work. I was hoping that I'll find another set of legs in my stash. And this is the hardware I'm going for. As you can see, the original holes were there, and then there was a second set, so that told me that the dresser must have definitely been refinished prior. And as you can see from me taking off the hardware here, it was a little bit of a challenge, and I think that was kind of an omen of what was ahead of me, because one thing after another kept happening here, and I wanted to sand back and clean up the inside of that drawer. And so first things first, we had to take care of this previous finish. So obviously the dresser had been refinished at some point, and I tried to kind of put my finger on what was used, whether it was some type of gel stain or a paint. It was very thin and peely and pulley, and obviously it didn't stick very well because it was coming off, and I obviously couldn't paint over it because my paint job would be only as good as that finish, so I had to remove it. I did consider different options, whether I should sand it or paint strip it, but I decided to just go with the carbide scraper, which although it looks like it was easy here and quite satisfying, it did take a long time. It took me almost the whole day to clean up this dresser. So I'll just leave you with a little quick montage of me scraping away here. After quite a few hours of scraping away, I was ready to fill in all of the unneeded hardware holes, and I gave the piece a good sanding. As you can see, some of the old finish is still on there because when I tried to sand those drawers, the finish didn't lift up, so I left it. And next I cleaned it up with my favorite TSP alternative by Fusion, and it was time to prime. I usually use this Benzene shellac based primer. You can see my can is well loved. It's almost empty there, but I like to use this primer to even out the surface as well as kind of seal in any tenons, any bleed through that may be coming through the paint. I am painting with a dark color, but I wanted to take care of that first, just in case. I am going to apply the primer with these Staalmeester rollers. They are absolutely 100% the Cadillac of rollers. They are so smooth, and I absolutely love them. They're great for applying the primer and getting a smooth finish, as well as applying paint. So the first thing we're going to do is do 2 good coats of bin zester just to make sure that everything's sealed up, the surface is even where we filled in the holes. I did a little bit of repair damage as well, so I just wanted to get a nice clean even surface before I started applying paint. So I did 2 coats. I usually do 2 coats of the primer, and I do sand between coats and after the second coat just to get a nice even smooth finish. And finally, after all of this prep work, we are ready to actually paint. And I will be using this new Fusion Mineral Paint color called Elderberry. It's a stunning purple. It's very moody, it's very dark, and it's very much outside of my comfort zone. I am not one to use such bold colors. So when I saw this color come in, I really wanted to give it a try. And I thought this dresser would be perfect. It is a stunning color. I will be spraying it today. I really do love to spray my finishes. And whenever I am able to, I always use my sprayer. Fusion sprays absolutely beautifully right out of the bottle. I don't have to dilute it. I don't have to do anything to it. It's just ready to go. And just as a note, all of the supplies that I'm using will be listed in my description with links to my website so that you can get your supplies from there, as well as this beautiful color. I sprayed 2 coats of Elderberry, and I sanded in between with 220 grit sandpaper. I also did top coat. I usually do top coat over all of my pieces. Fusion is an all-in-one paint. I simply like to add a little bit of extra protection, a little bit of sheen, and I usually tint my top coat, and in this case I simply poured it straight into my hopper. That way it would avoid any streaking, any hazing over the dark color. And finally, it was time for finishing touches. I brought the dresser inside. I changed the legs. I did find a little bit shorter mid-century legs in my stash, and I was really happy to kind of use up things I already had between the legs, the hardware, and the dresser. They were all items that I had for over a year. I think the legs I had for 3 or 4 years, so it was good to get them used up, and the hardware was just perfect. It perfectly matched the legs, and it had a little bit of a gold accent. It was gorgeous. So if thus far you have learned a little something, please consider hitting the subscribe button, and I look forward to adding more videos coming up, and also comment below if you have any questions. Here is a quick reminder of where we started. We had our ugly brown finish and spider webs and all kinds of fun stuff. And here's the final product.